Long ago, in the heart of the African savannah, there lived a humble farmer named Juma. He was renowned across the land for his bountiful harvest and the wisdom he shared with others. Yet, Juma carried a secret sadness that he rarely spoke of, a sadness that whispered through the rustling leaves of his fields and the lonely nights in his hut. Juma had two children, Amoni and Bekari, whose mother had passed away when they were young. While Juma was a master of cultivating crops, he struggled to nurture his own children. Consumed by the demands of his farm, he often left them to fend for themselves. "They will grow strong like my millet," he told himself, "as long as they have the soil of my home and the rains of my labor." But Juma's belief was flawed, and the story that unfolded became a lesson for generations. One day, as Juma walked tirelessly in the fields, an old woman appeared on the path leading to his farm. Her back was bent like a bow, and her eyes sparkled with ancient wisdom. She carried a small, gnarled seed in her hand. "Juma," she called out, her voice as dry as the harmattan wind. "You are a man of great harvest, but there is one seed you have neglected to nurture." Juma wiped his brow and frowned. "Old mother, what do you mean? My fields are full, and my granaries overflow. What seed have I neglected?" The old woman smiled sadly and placed the seed in his hand. "This seed," she said, "is magical. Plant it in the center of your land, but remember, it will not grow if you ignore it. Tend to it with care, or you will lose something far more precious than your crops." Curious, Juma planted the seed near his home. Days turned into weeks, and the seed sprouted into a young sapling. But Juma, busy with his farm, paid it little attention. He thought, "It is just a tree. It will grow on its own." Meanwhile, Amoni and Bekari struggled under the weight of their father's absence. Amoni, the elder sister, took on the role of mother and father, cooking and cleaning while Bekari helped her gather firewood and fetch water. They longed for their father's guidance, but Juma always seemed too busy. "Why does Baba care more for his millet than for us?" Bekari asked one evening, his voice tinged with frustration. Amoni sighed, her eyes reflecting the flicker of their dying fire. "I don't know, Bekari. Maybe he doesn't see us the way we see him." The children began to drift apart, each retreating into their own world of loneliness. Amoni found solace in the stories their mother once told. While Bekari began wandering the forest, searching for something, anything, that could fill the void in his heart, the magical baobab tree grew taller, but its leaves were dry, and its bark cracked like parched earth. The old woman returned one day, her face grim. "Juma," she said, "the tree is dying. Do you not see the signs?" Juma, confused, replied, "I water my crops, and I work harder than any man in this village. What more can I do?" The old woman pointed to the tree's withering branches. "This tree is your family, Juma. It reflects the love and care you give them. Tend to your children, or this tree will wither to nothing, and so will they." One night, a fierce storm swept through the savannah. Thunder roared, and lightning split the sky. The baobab tree, already weakened, bent and cracked under the weight of the winds. A great branch broke off, crashing to the ground with a sound that shook the earth. Juma woke with a start and ran outside. His heart sank at the sight of the broken tree. For the first time, he felt the weight of the old woman's words, but as he turned to check on his children, he realized they were gone. Panicked, he searched the hut and the surrounding fields, but there was no sign of Amoni or Bekari. Juma spent the next days searching for his children. He asked neighbors and travelers, but no one had seen them. Desperate, he ventured into the forest where Bekari often wandered. In the heart of the forest, Juma found the old woman waiting beside a large anthill. Her eyes were filled with sorrow. "Where are my children?" Juma pleaded. "Tell me, old mother, and I will do anything to bring them back." The old woman shook her head. "Your children have been lost to the wilderness of neglect. But if you truly wish to find them, you must mend the broken branches of your heart. Juma fell to his knees. "Teach me, wise one. Show me how to nurture what I have neglected." The old woman handed him a bowl of water. "This water is love, patience, and understanding. Carry it carefully, and pour it on the roots of the baobab tree." Juma returned to his farm and poured the magical water on the tree's roots. To his astonishment, the cracked bark began to heal, and green leaves sprouted once more. Each day, he poured more water, and with each act of care, he felt a change within himself. One morning, as the baobab stood tall and vibrant, Juma heard laughter from the fields. He ran outside and saw Amoni and Bakery running toward him. Tears streamed down his face as he embraced them, vowing never to let them feel unloved again. From that day forward, Juma became a different man. He spent time teaching Amoni and Bakery the art of farming, but more importantly, he listened to their dreams and fears. Together, they sang songs, told stories, and planted new seeds, both in the soil and in their hearts. The baobab tree grew into a majestic giant, its branches providing shade for the family and their neighbors. It became a symbol of love, resilience, and the importance of nurturing what truly matters. The story of Juma and the magical baobab tree spread across the land, reaching villages far and wide. Parents who heard the tale were reminded that their children, like seeds, need care, attention, and love to thrive, and so, the lesson lived on: a neglected seed may grow wild, but a nurtured one will bear fruit that feeds generations.